I told you we'd be spending a lot of time in my kitchen as we do this chemistry unit because there's so much about a kitchen that's very similar to a chemistry lab, and I'm going to introduce you to a little bit of a hobby of mine. What you're looking at here are some ingredients that I've put together to be able to make my own bread. That's right, you can make your own bread at home. So what I've got right here are some dry ingredients. It's a mixture of some flour, some ground seeds, some sugar, and what this is an example of a mixture. That's something we're talking about is in physical changes. It's just a mixture. All of those parts are there. There's different parts of the ingredients, but I can separate all of those things and put them back into separate categories. So I can put a bowl of flour, pull out the sugar, pull out the flaxseed, pull out all the different ingredients that are in there. They haven't really mixed together. But I'm going to show you once I mix the ingredients. Now that all of the ingredients have been mixed together, and they're still being mixed together, this is a lot more like a solution. All of the pieces are mixed together, they're spread out evenly, so if I were to take a chunk off of right here, it would have all of the same ingredients if I took a chunk from out over here, because all of the ingredients are mixed together in a way that they are evenly spread out throughout the whole thing. I can still separate this. It'd be a long process, it'd be a really hard process, but I could still technically separate the butter and the syrup and the flour. I could put them all separately. It would take a really long time. It'd be really hard to do that, but I could still separate them. They are all separate pieces. They haven't been combined into they haven't created a new substance yet. And so looking at my bread, I haven't created a new substance yet. But as all of you who have eaten bread before, you know that you can't pick apart those pieces. Something happens along the way to change all of those different ingredients to become something new. And so this is where it gets interesting because there's two more ingredients that I'm going to add. And that's when I'm going to add these two ingredients. I have right here, this is called yeast. And this is something I call a starter. I can explain more of what that is later, but that's what I'm going to add to this bread to cause all of this mix of ingredients to become something new. All right, so now I've moved my little lump of chemicals into a bread pan, and I want us to look for what evidence do you see of a chemical reaction taking place? We'll check back in with it in about 2 hours. All right, so it took a little bit longer than I expected, but this is, I said I was gonna check in after 2 hours, and this is after 3 hours. But what indications do you see that a chemical change has happened? All right, so now you're about to see the final chemical change. So take a very close look at the way it looks right now, and we're gonna put it in the oven and see what happens. All right, and now we're gonna look at the final chemical change. So as we open this up and take a look at it, what do you notice about what has changed? What do you notice about what has happened to it? So what did we do to it to cause that change? And what changes do you notice in it that would tell you that this is a chemical change?